everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a tribute to the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, and specifically Khristina Sorge, who makes it all happen and pulls us all together with the Kit Club and the brand new Creative Cuts Club. Today, being the 9th, is our Secret Not Secret Khristina Tribute Day. So I'm going to use one of my favorite kits that I've gotten from Khristina. I mentioned that I do a lot of boy scrapping for my grandson, but I have lots of childhood photos of my son, who's now 45, and I have kind of resolved to get those out of shoe boxes and onto pages. I was smart enough, shall we say, to get them out of the old non-acid-free albums they were in, where they were yellowing, and I rescued them, and I have them in acid-free boxes, and at least I kind of have them organized somewhat. But I really haven't done, it's too easy to just grab my digital photos. So anyway, this page is going to be using, so going back to the story, I mentioned to her that I'd like some boy supplies, and I admired a layout that she had done, and so I got my boy kit, and it was based primarily on Echo Park's Imagine That collection, which is just absolutely the most incredible colors. All you have to do, they kind of had me at the alphas. These, even though they're chipboard and they really don't stick very well without liquid glue, they're just the cutest alphas and so appropriate for boy pages. She mixed in some Cocoa Vanilla Boys Rule, and I had in my stash some Simple Stories Little Dude, and I pulled quite a few of the little word stickers from there, and I think I selected my dinosaur from there because I'd used up all my dinosaurs from the other collection. And I think I have here's some more Boys Rule pieces here, and I pulled a camera from here. And I have quite a few other things, including, I think the matting on my photo came from a 6x6 pad I had, and I honestly forget what it is, and I can't find it now. So, it's a crepe paper. I don't know what the collection is, but it is crepe paper because I had this in 12x12. But I found this photo of my son that my dad took when he was visiting his grandparents in Louisiana, and he constantly had this red hat on. You can kind of see how misshapen it is. He slept in it, he ate in it, he took a bath in it, he wore it all day long, and he's about 2 when this photo was taken. He was sound asleep in the back of the car, and the photo itself is pretty messed up, including it has this scratch mark that he himself did later when he was about 6. He found my only copy of this photo and marked on it with a ballpoint pen. So I've found that when I have a really dull photo, a photo that I can't pump up the colors without making the skin look bad, I run it through filters that kind of make it a little bit cartoonish, but it kind of brings out the detail. And so you can really see the, let me see if I can get the light over here. You can really see his little sleeping face and that hat, and each one of those copies kind of brings out some different detail. So that's why I do that, and you'll probably see that in quite a few of my particularly older photos, although I used it on some very new photos of Ava recently. So I'm going to go ahead and mount the photo here. What I'm doing here is actually, it's one of the challenges in the Secret Not Secret Kit Club Secret Scrap Party that was held last weekend, or it continued through the week, and it was based on Laura Albert's layout that where she had created a shelf of embellishments above some photos of her son, and it was kind of meant to signify a shelf. This is a shelf design for where your photos sit, but we're talking about a shelf of toys up in a kid's room. So I'm going to, I've cut this. This is probably my favorite pattern paper from the Imagine That line, and I've used it. I hate using it because the other side of it is, or the cut apart sheets, and I only had scraps left, so that's why I did that layout there. So this is my shelf. I actually cut it out of white foam, this fun foam stuff that I used to get for the kids to do crafts with, and I use now to pop up my photos. I cut the outer part of the shelf on my trimmer, and it left kind of a rough edge, so that's where a lot of the embellishments will go. And then I cut a smaller piece that pops that up so it gives it some dimension, and it stands up on the page and allows me to kind of tuck things behind it. And I've selected some things and I have some ideas, but to be honest, I haven't measured to see how many of my toy images I can actually get on this page, and I'm eyeballing this, and I may be sorry for that, although, okay, here's a problem. My lower shelf is a little longer than my upper shelf. Easily fixed. Okay, so that starts there. Before I start populating the shelf, I kind of had an idea for using these frames that came with this, and I want to try it out and see if I like it. And I'm gonna kind of go out on a limb right now and say that I don't like it. If I did, I may use one of those. Sometimes I do that where I want to accentuate one of the photos in a collage like this, but I've got the trim on the outside there that would be partially in and partially out of the picture. So I'm going to leave it as it is. I've fussy cut this little guy. He loved robots, and I fussy cut this little guy out of a cut apart card, and I fussy cut this guy out of this sticker sheet, which came, couldn't tell you what line that comes from. It's a different one from these others that I've talked about. And I cut a dinosaur. We have to have a dinosaur, but I kind of want, these are all things that I put on foam backing, and there, of course, have to be books on the shelf. He was a fanatic about books, and he liked organizing his books. Let me kind of put that'll be my very first thing there. And I haven't selected anything else. He was a huge Star Wars fanatic, and I'm going to do a Star Wars page, but this time I'm not going to let that be my primary focus. I do want this chipboard spaceship, and so I'm going to put a little glue on it to make sure it stays and kind of tuck it in behind the books. There we go. And so we've started. Let's see what else we want. I definitely want for this Rubik's Cube to go on there. This photo predates Rubik's Cubes, but he kind of liked playing with them later on, so I'm going to maybe overlap that onto the shelf. Maybe do it that way. I'm not liking that at all, so let me back off on that. I'm going to now go to, I think I like there's another another spaceship there. Let's go. He liked cars and he liked arranging cars. And I eyed this little truck a while back. Let me kind of put the truck over here. I can kind of let him hang a bit off there, and that gives me something to layer on top of, because a truck is something you'll get, you know what it is, and I don't have to, you don't have to see the whole thing, I guess, in order to know what it is. I'm going to layer this sticker just right onto the shelf. See if you're seeing. And I'm going to put this guy kind of right over in there. I like him, and I'll let him be flat. And again, he sticks up so high, that's something that I don't mind layering over. I selected, by the way, I got the solid color papers that went with the Imagine That line. I ordered those from Amazon. And I had ordered them actually before I got the kit from Khristina. And I used up the lime green page, which would have been perfect for this particular layout because his room was lime green. And I was up painting that lime green paint on there the night before he was born, actually. Okay, let's do, I like the little kind of water gun, spacey sort of water gun. I'm going to, at least that's my story, is that it's a water gun. It doesn't quite layer back there. Let me try the dinosaur. Maybe I can layer the dinosaur behind. Let me do this. I'll put the dinosaur there, and then layer things. Maybe this is where I'll do the Rubik's Cube, because again, you can kind of tell that dinosaur, you can tell it's a dinosaur. I'm gonna tilt him up a little bit, and then I'm gonna go with this little guy is a sticker, and I could peel it off the backing, but I really want to prop it up with some foam. So I'm not going to take the backing off. I'll do it like this, and I'll kind of have this guy maybe right here. Yeah, that's good. Over the truck. Okay, and then here we go with the Rubik's Cube. I could maybe, actually that almost looks like it should be a background piece. And maybe I'll put it over here by the books, because that would make that the intellectual corner. How's that? How's that for a reason? Did you ever think you'd organize your scrapbook design by whether it was intellectual or not? Okay, what else do I want to do here that really signifies? Here's another race car, but he's already got a race car there. There's another. I like the play that can kind of exist on the wall as a banner that might have been installed on the wall. So we'll kind of do that right there. I've put this camera here. There's another camera here. He, later in life, developed almost a fanatic love of taking pictures, particularly photographing his kids. And his kids run from him now. And so I thought, I don't think he had a camera at 2, but he may have been taking pictures with my camera not too much later than that. I'm putting this, he'll get the joke about this skateboard, because it's what all he wanted for the longest time. I want a skateboard, I want a skateboard, I want a skateboard. So first day on his skateboard, we got him one, of course, and he was so excited. He went outside on the sidewalk and really just wiped out and never touched the skateboard again. So let's see. I'm looking at this little guy here. I want to put this little water gun in there somewhere, but I'm just not seeing it. I like this ViewMaster, and it's funny because it's called a master viewer here. I like the ViewMaster because it's not something he played with, it's something I played with. And I think I tried, there were some, cheap imitation ViewMaster type devices when he was a kid, and I think I tried to get him interested in them, and it was just not a successful endeavor there. Okay, I'm gonna put this gun somewhere. Where do I put the gun? Maybe I'll have it overlapping and have it here with the intellectual things. Not that that's good. I think this is telling me I need to have an anti-violence kind of thing here. Okay, I've got just about everything that will fit. I do like lots of the colorful stars here on this sticker sheet, the little dude sticker sheet, and I'm going to, where I had some pop dots to use. I like for stars to not be flat in the sky. So let me kind of put, I'll use 3, and I like the big orange one. I really love how the shelf looks, and I think adding a little bit of color with these stars, maybe, I really like this lizard, and we've found lizards on shelves in a home we had in Jackson, and I thought maybe that would be cool. Let's see what other color. Here's the lime green. I'm putting as much lime green as I can, just as a nod to his room. He had lime green walls, because of course we had no idea whether it was a he or a she. And he had Winnie the Pooh curtains, and I forget what the sheets were, but it was a yellow crib, and there were lots of yellows and blues and greens. And I will say that I didn't ever assume it was a girl, because I don't think there was anything pink anywhere around when he was born. Okay, so I've got this sentiment that says never a dull moment. I'm going to add that. What I do with these word stickers is I do a little tiny strip of foam behind them so that they'll stand up. And then, of course, if they're wide enough, let's see where to put that. I think I like it here as though it's part of a cluster with that camera. Let me just kind of do that. And this one is hilarious because it came from the sticker sheet just like this. It says, sorry, not sorry, which is actually something he said, and it's kind of like secret, not secret, right? So have to put that one there. And then this one, I'll kind of put out here and maybe see if I can accentuate it in some way. This one says dream big, little one, and it kind of looks like, well, actually I can't put it there because that's where the title's going. Let me do this. I'll take this off and let this overlap and let it be supported by foam on the other side. Okay, now it's hard to explain why unless you're French Cajun, but he was known as T-Boy, and it's because when my French relatives saw him, they'd say, "Oh, Chatty Boy." And so people started calling him T-Boy. It's not an unusual nickname in South Louisiana, Cajun country, but he decided in first grade when he had trouble explaining and telling people what his name was, he decided that he would change it, and he wanted to be called James, not Jim or Jimmy or anything else. So he came back home and said, "My name is James." So on one of these, on this chipboard sticker set, I've got the word boy. I'm going to, coordinates perfectly with this lime green and white tee, and I'm going to turn a, actually got a lime green dash. So I'm going to make that the title. I'm going to overlap these chipboard letters, and I may run out of space. Don't laugh at me if I do, but I kind of have a backup plan in case that happens. I'm going to line up these letters. Actually have two colored backgrounds, and there's a line there. So I'm going to line up that line with the line of the kind of the photo cluster shelf. And somehow I think that will look, and the banner fishtail kind of goes with the pattern, and it sort of lines up with the pattern on the paper. Not exactly, but close enough. Okay, there's that. I'm going to take out my T, and we're getting dangerously close to finishing. And you're probably saying it's about time. Let me go. I probably shouldn't glue this. I could place it on there, take the photo, call it finished, and then do all this off camera, right? But no. Okay, let me get a little of this glue off my finger onto the T. And there we've got it. Okay, I will, I think, look for some more small embellishments like this little orange gear here. It has a cute little hole in the center that I need to punch out. Anyway, I'll go do all of that off camera, and we'll call this finished. And I want to thank Khristina for understanding exactly my style of scrapping and for sending me things that are just amazing. She sends me things. I can ask her, "Hey, I like this collection," and I'll get that collection. And maybe I'll ask her to select a few things out of that collection that she thinks I would like, and she'll select things I would have bought at the store if I'd seen it, but she'll also select things that are kind of little surprises that that she gleans from each of us by seeing what we do with what she sends us. So great. Great kit club, great curator, love it. Happy Khristina Day. Bye.